Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Daniela Streety, and happy hump day. Welcome to our Wednesday night edition of FSU weather. As we take a look down Doak Campbell Stadium, we see lots of blue skies and cumulus clouds. Mid-80s is what we're seeing right now, with a little bit of a breeze from the east-northeast around 9 miles an hour. It's been a beautiful, a little bit warmer day, but overall very pleasant. We're seeing across the Big Bend and South Georgia, those middle 80s are the trend across the region. We got a little bit of a cooler spot, 83 in Perry, 81 in Live Oak as well. So 80s is the trend across our region, and those for tonight's forecast staying pretty mild in the 60s. We're beginning to warm up those morning lows a little bit day by day, unfortunately, but we can expect hopefully a cool down in the next couple of days. So for today, we're going to track the tropics. We actually have some interesting breaking news on the newest update, and some relief to hot and dry conditions are coming ahead. And also today we have our Wild Weather Wednesday. Stay tuned, all that and more on FSU Weather.
Meteorologist Sloan Delaney.
And I'm student meteorologist Daniela Streety.
We got a good show tonight. I'm definitely very excited.
We are booked.
Yes,
we are stacked.
we're definitely booked. But we've been pretty hot and dry, really, throughout the last month. Definitely this week, for sure.
What's new?
Are you sick of it yet?
I'm a little sick of it. Monday, the week started off a little more optimistic. We got those cooler temps. We saw some low 50s across the Big Bend in South Georgia, which was very exciting.
Yeah.
But it didn't last super long. But you got to enjoy it while you can have it.
I know. Now we're back and warm, but a cold front could shake some things up. Maybe by this weekend. We got a big game this weekend too.
We do. It's gonna be late though, so make sure it's an away game.
I know.
But you might lose some sleep over
I know. You
that.
might lose some sleep. Just plan to stay up a little bit later. It's against Stanford, so it's on the other side of the coast. So it's a little bit later.
A little bit of adjustment to them entering the ACC as well. So yeah, the time change is definitely something to consider. Maybe consider sleeping in Sunday morning. Don't do anything too early for your morning plans.
Exactly. And then if we get some rain on Sunday because of that cold front, it's gonna be a nice rainy day to just sleep in and chill.
Exactly. And starting off you might get a little bit of a soggy start to the end of your weekend, to the beginning of next week, but there's plenty of treat behind that. It's going to be well worth it. And we're going to toss that over to Ansley. She's going to give us a quick update on the tropics and what to look for in Tallahassee. So Ansley, give it a go.
Yeah, thanks you guys. So very quick update on the tropics. Right now we're taking a look at Tropical Storm Lorenzo, just barely kicking up there, but not much going on, not anything that's going to be affecting us. As we take a look around the rest of FSU in Florida, it looks like we've got some clear skies. It looks like a very high pressure system to me. The cumulus clouds are starting to go away for their part of the day here. 80s for the most part around our area. Mid to upper 80s has tended to be the story here. I know that the story yesterday I was trying to come up with was it's kind of like a Goldilocks situation, not too hot, not too cold. Now we're still there, but we're just a little bit warmer than what we were. And in terms of the radar, we really don't have much going on. This is just a little bit of ground scatter, nothing that's really going to stick here. And for tonight, we're going to cool off into the 60s, upper 50s in some areas, 58 there in Monticello, 57 up in Thomasville, but clear skies, great night to get out and stargaze. Orionids are coming up next week as well. They should be peaking in Monday night into Tuesday, or maybe Tuesday night into Wednesday night, but you should be able to maybe see a couple before then as well. Tomorrow afternoon, you guessed it, we're going to keep right back up into the 80s, 86 here in Tallahassee, mid to upper 80s, kind of depending where you're at if you're not by the coast. And as we look at the future radar, we really don't have much in the way of rain here rolling into your Friday. Just a couple of passing clouds, very typical. We've had this long dry stretch here in the Panhandle. Rain chances for the next couple of days. We see little to none going into the weekend, but on the back end, we got a 40% chance here on Sunday. So thankfully not affecting anybody's really game day in Florida, although our game is an away game. But going into Wednesday, we've got a 20% chance, and of course it's a little too early to tell, but we'll keep you updated as we get closer here. But taking a look at the 7-day forecast, we've got a lot of sun coming up here in the Sunshine State. Again, that rain chance there on Sunday, and we've got a stark difference, 88 to 58. That's a very big difference. That's telling you that the dew points are pretty low here, and they're going to kind of fluctuate throughout the week, but we've been on the drier trend here as well. But for now, we're going to take it on over to the rest of Florida with Sloan. Tell us, how's it going in the rest of the Sunshine State?
Yeah, Ainsley, honestly, it's very, very similar in the rest of the state. That hot and dryness is really going to be continuing on throughout this week. We can see it is 83 degrees in Tampa, 82 in Miami, a little bit warmer up in Panama City Beach at 88. A lot of those clouds are helping keeping it nice and cool down in Miami. It's definitely a great time to go to that lovely city. Taking a look at our current radar, we can see, again, most of us are staying dry really all throughout the Sunshine State. Definitely living up to its name. We have just a few areas of some scattered showers as we get to the central part of the state. Also a few showers just off of our east coast because that sea breeze bringing in some moisture and a little bit more of that rain. Also, again, some scattered showers and storms. I want to see more isolated showers and storms as you get to the central portions of Florida. But again, nice and dry here in the Panhandle. Also, of course, in Tallahassee. Definitely a lot cooler in Jacksonville at 75, 79 in Orlando. Gets a little bit warmer down here. West Palm Beach at 80 degrees. Tampa again at 81. So again, nice and warm and dry as we get into our Wednesday evening. Taking a look to the future though, again, that cold front is going to bring us maybe some rain as we get to the end of this week and the beginning of next weekend as well. But we can see a lot of us in Florida staying nice and dry. Just a few clouds off the coast, but again, really nothing much to worry about as we get throughout the next few days. As we get to Saturday, again, a little bit on the cloudier side, but still nice and dry in terms of our rain chances. If you do find yourself in Tampa, Florida over the next few days, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. So definitely go ahead, make those outdoor plans with your friends. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Temperatures topping out in the upper 80s, bottoming out in the 60s. So great time to get outside for sure. Really very similar story for Miami as well. The next couple of days going to be nice and beautiful. We do have a couple of chances for some rain as it comes to Thursday, but just keep aware of that if you do have any outdoor plans at all. Tonight we are going to cool down just a little bit up here in the Panhandle. It's going to be nice and calm and clear. It's going to mean it's going to be a little bit cooler. It's called radiational cooling actually, when a lot of that heat is able to escape overnight. But where it's going to be a little bit cloudier down south, we're going to stay a little bit warmer for some of our overnight lows. As we look to tomorrow though, it's going to be that rinse and repeat again. Very nice and sunny and dry as we get to tomorrow. Very, very similar to what we saw today. But Daniela, what is the story for the rest of the Southeast? Are we also staying nice and hot and dry?
You know, it's funny that you say that, Sloan, because that is exactly right. We're staying hot and dry across the Southeast. We got another omega block kind of forming where we have low pressure up in the Pacific Northwest, high pressure across the middle of the country and the Southeast. So lots of blue skies, a little bit of warmer temperatures for now. And we can see that across the area on these cameras. Tampa, mostly sunny skies, looking at clear skies here in Nashville. Temperatures topping off in the mid to upper 80s for much of the region. And that radar right now looking very clear with the exceptions of some spotty isolated showers out in the middle of the Florida Peninsula coming off the Atlantic coast. But other than that, like we have been saying, that hot and dry weather is here to stay like it has been for the past several weeks. And I know that we're itching for something new to happen. And hopefully we will get that going into this weekend. Into the next couple of days, we'll see some clouds moving into the region towards Louisiana and Arkansas, Mississippi, and Tennessee. And then as we move on into our Saturday, that's when we're going to keep an eye out for some severe weather entering into parts of the southeast towards Arkansas as well. So we can expect some severe weather within those regions as we have some storms rolling in through the rest of Saturday, and that will continue to move through the Tennessee and southern Mississippi regions. So that is something to keep an eye on, potential for a 2 out of 5 risk as far. So make sure to keep in mind when that, keep updated for your local news stations for that. In terms of rain this weekend, hit or miss for much of us. Some places farther west are going to see a little bit more rain. Not everyone is going to get a complete washout or anything like that is to be anticipated, which unfortunately we wish that we could see that a little bit because we are still in extreme drought for much places in the southeast. We see extreme droughts here into southwestern or middle Alabama as well. Even here in South Georgia within our viewing area, we're in an extreme drought. So a lot of these places that we are in the southeast are desperate for some rain. And right now going into our current temperatures, again, we're seeing a fall gradient, but it dang sure doesn't feel like fall. I can tell you that right now, folks. We're seeing temperatures topping in the upper 80s, even seeing close to 90 here in Shreveport, seeing 88, seeing some 70s towards the Atlantic coast, thankfully staying a little bit on the cooler side But overall, we're wishing we got some more fall-like weather. Birmingham, if you're planning to travel there in the next couple of days, no rain in the forecast until you get into that late week when we have that cold front moving through the region. They have some chances of rain, but hopefully some cooler temperatures will begin to move into the region going into the beginning of your work week next week. A little bit of the same story for New Orleans as well, seeing those 60s in the morning. Those morning lows are going to get a little warmer as we have that rain invited into the region. But overall, we can also anticipate some cooler temperatures for them next week. In terms of tonight, we're seeing a little bit more milder forecast, but it's still above average for what we would like to see. Staying those temperatures bottoming out in the 60s and some lower 50s as well. So again, hope hot and dry. We're hoping for a little bit of a change and a little more feel like fall. But Ansley, tomorrow's forecast also in the 90s, so go figure on that. But for the national, Ansley, there's lots going on, especially some colder areas. I'm almost jealous.
Yeah, that's for sure. We're definitely jealous of out west here. 86 here in Tallahassee, 80s for the most part. You can see this big area of high pressure. Sun, sun, sun. A lot of it not going away anytime soon. 42 up in Billings. Shout out, you're always our coldest spot. Current radar, we've got a lot of precipitation ready to come off the Rockies here. There's a lot of available energy up in this region, so that's where we could see the most happen tonight here. We're going to zoom in on that so you can see a lot of that getting gathered up north of Salt Lake City here, but it is going to kind of start to push its way off of the Rockies there, and this is what it's going to kind of look like in the future. So you'll see that kind of start to shift upwards. It'll start to sort of dissipate, but it's moving very fast, so it could bring some high winds along with that as well. 72-hour rainfall, this always reflects that map for the most part. You'll see that rain get gathered up here as well. Little to no rain here in the southeast. We definitely do need a little bit of that. This is your SPC outlook. Like I said, a lot of that potential energy right here, non-severe weather that we could be seeing as well throughout a lot of the northern plains. If you happen to find yourself in Seattle, Washington, though, you guessed it, they're pretty rainy a lot of times, but here's where they're going to have those fall-like temperatures that we're kind of jealous of. If you can handle the rain, it's a good trade-off. Chicago, we're going to be seeing, for the most part, well, we're going to be seeing a lot. They don't really know what they want for the next couple of days. Sun on Thursday, but ending the week on a rainy note. And again, those temperatures, that probably wouldn't be my pick here, but Omaha, this is my home state of Nebraska here. They've got a decent week ahead. They've got cooling down, so I'll take that and ending it with sun for sure. Miss it back home, love you mom, all those things. Boston, oh, it is a very pretty sunset out tonight. Pinks and matching, love it. Lots of sunshine. That might actually be my pick. Sorry, Omaha. 60s for the most part, warming up into the weekend. And as we take a look at our drought monitor, like Daniela was saying, we've needed a lot of rain here in the southeast, but also we can't forget about out west. It is very dry out there as well. Arizona, I touch on it every time, always in some state of drought. Utah as well lately. North Dakota, always the one that's spared. Temperature outlook. Now this has changed a little bit. So we've got some cooler temperatures starting to creep in, but the Central Plains still mostly warm. That's kind of been the trend. But what's new is out here up through the Carolinas, we've got a little bit of cooler trends coming in here over the next couple of weeks here, 6 to 10 days. Tonight's temperatures, we're going to dip down. We're going to see those cooler temperatures out east. 58 here, that's layering weather. Once you get into the 50s here, 50s for the most part, 41 up in Billings. Tomorrow, though, you guessed it, we're going to heat right back up again. Sun, sun, sun here for the national. And a lot of high pressure over here in the southeast, but that's good weather to get outdoors. But we're going to talk about Wild Weather Wednesday now with Sloan and Alec.
Yeah, it's our favorite part of the Wednesday show, your favorite part of the Wednesday show, hopefully. Wild Weather Wednesday, we're going to talk about a new weather phenomenon this week. It's actually coastal erosion.
Coastal erosion, and this is very relevant for what has happened the last week on the east coast of Florida. We had that nor'easter hammering the east coast and causing a lot of this coastal erosion that Sloan will tell you about.
Yeah, exactly. So what exactly is coastal erosion if you've maybe never heard of it or you don't know exactly what it is? So it is a natural process. Basically, the coastlines are worn away. The land is reduced. It's a lot of times by water, but it can be by waves, winds, currents, rising sea levels, things like that.
And what are the impacts for this coastal erosion? Well, we get a loss of land due to the shoreline becoming smaller and moving further inland. We saw this a lot during Hurricane Matthew and Irma in my home county, Flagler County. We had A1A, little road that goes from Miami basically to Jacksonville. That was just about all washed away across several miles of our county shore. You get damages to infrastructure like buildings, roads, like I was saying, and coastal infrastructure, and economic consequences can harm tourism, businesses, and communities that rely on the coastal environment.
Yeah, so where is it most likely commonly found in the U.S.? So it's very, very common across the Gulf Coast, also the northern Alaska coast as well. But again, the Gulf Coast is very, very common, especially Louisiana, Texas, that southeast Atlantic coast, like North Carolina, and also portions of the California coast. So we're definitely no stranger to it, being in Tallahassee and being somewhat close to the coast on the Gulf Coast.
And near us here in Tallahassee, we have St. Johns River, a very prime example for this to happen. It's a very shallow riverbed. And when you have hurricanes off the coast of Florida, the way you have that spinning on in, that can really push a bunch of water into the river and causing a lot of erosion along the riverbanks and just in the region as a whole.
Yeah, and you're close to St. Johns River. Have you seen the change
yes.
of it throughout the years?
I've only been to St. Johns River a couple times, but like
Okay.
I live on the ocean, and like you see just the power of Mother Nature and just the ocean just the storms just whip up the waves, and like several feet are taken back from the dunes, and like it's nothing to scoff at. It's a serious threat.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely be aware of that as we enter into a season, whereas we're in hurricane season right now, obviously. So definitely be aware of it.
That's right, and we still have another month and a half to go with hurricane season, so we can't let off our guard just yet. We still have several more weeks to go, so keep your guard up, people.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, now we're going to toss it over to Mila with a look at our lifestyle.
Yes, thank you guys. That was very interesting about coastal erosion. I kept hearing that term with the nor'easter that just passed through, and I actually had to Google it because I've never heard of that before. But as we look at our skies across Tallahassee, speaking of water, it is a great day to do any water sports, especially if you want to head to St. George Island or Lake Bradford or the Res, whatever name you prefer. I know it was previously known as the Res. But if you want to walk your dog tomorrow, I would say maybe aim to do it earlier in the morning since we don't have a lot of clouds in the sky. It will heat up very fast. This is an 18-degree difference, so yes, you are going to want to be prepared for that. I know I woke up this morning, put on sweatpants, and then later in the afternoon, I had to change. It's just that time of the year. But if you want to go for a hike to relieve any stress, we do have some great weather for that, staying in the upper 70s. Tom Brown Park, if you want to head there, we have great weather for that as well, lower 80s. I know, not Lucky Goat, but shout out Lucky Goat, love that coffee shop as well. The Black Dog Cafe is over there. Those two coffee shops are two of my favorites, so maybe grab a coffee if you're around Tom Brown Park. Maybe you want to go to the pool as well. And it is a great day to do so as we will heat up to the mid-80s. And I know the UV is going to be 7, so that is some great tanning weather. If you want to head to the beach this weekend, I would say aim to do it on Saturday. We are sticking in the lower 80s for most of the weekend. But yeah, maybe if you want to head to the beach after the game, after you sleep in after the game, maybe head there a little later in the afternoon because it is going to rain in Sunday morning. Now, we are experiencing no delays for our Tallahassee airport, but that is not the same for the rest of the country. Denver, you just have a slight delay due to some weather, but pretty much clear for the rest of the airports. Tomorrow, we will heat up to the upper 80s. Unfortunately, no fall-like temperatures yet, but hopefully we will see those soon as our lows are starting to dip lower. Maybe if you head out, it is going to be in the lower 60s, so you have a lot of outfit options for that. And now Alec is going to tell us about the rest of Tallahassee.
Yeah, thank you, Mila. One last look over Doak Campbell Stadium. 86 out here, and we have another very hot day across Tallahassee. But like what Mila was referring to, it was a little cooler this morning in the upper 50s. So it's that time of year where it's like, what do you wear? Do you wear a coat? Do you not? Like, it's 86 now. It's a scorcher in the afternoon. Current temperatures across our area, 86 here in Tallahassee, a little cooler to our east and to our south in Apalachicola, 80 degrees with the Gulf temps, or with the sea breeze, excuse me, keeping us a little cooler down there. Now, looking at our radar, we have nothing going on, nothing to worry about. Beautiful clear skies across our metro here. Now, tonight we have those lower dew points opening up our lows to drop to 60 degrees and even cooler as we head further north. 57 in Thomasville, and a little higher dew points further south in Carabel and Apalachicola, only getting down to 64 and 63 down there. Now for our future radar, again, we really don't have anything to worry about in the next day or so. Just a couple scattered clouds here coming through the area tomorrow afternoon, but nothing to concern us over. Now tonight, if you're heading out, I would recommend grabbing a jacket. We are going to dip below 60 degrees down to 58, but it's going to be a very nice, calm day for us. Evening, excuse me, as we continue into these overnight hours. Now for tomorrow, more of the same, a little bit above average. Average this time of year, 82 degrees here in the Tallahassee metro, but 86 here in Tallahassee, so a little bit above average there. And looking ahead for a week, we've mentioned that cold front we see here, 40% chance of rain on that day, and then after, look at these beautiful lows here, high beneath 80 on Monday, and we're getting down to 50. Maybe we crack 49 and below. We'll see. But I'm going to throw it over to Mila and Ainsley to close out our show.
Yeah, thank you, Alec. If you can't tell, everybody, we are just itching for fall. We're getting a little cranky at this point, right?
Oh, definitely. And I am looking forward to the cold front, aren't you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've gotten a couple of opportunities. We've had a couple of cold fronts, but they've been very short-lived, and then we're back to high and dry and warm.
But it seems like we're finally seeing some 50s in the forecast. We haven't seen that since.
For sure. Well, that's what I'm waiting for, the 50s to be our highs, not our lows. You know what I mean?
I know. I'm like, wake me up when 50s are our highs. For now, I'll just stay inside, avoid the heat.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, how have you been coping with the weather? Are you staying indoors, or are you still getting outdoors and appreciating it?
I try to go outside, you know. I'm just like not a homebody. How about you?
I wish I was a morning person, because then I could catch those temperatures, but I'm not at all. So, but when I have to wake up early enough for class, that's when I'll enjoy it. That's when my car's air conditioning is broken. I think I talked about this last night. But
and that's when I put on my fall playlist.
Yeah. But when it's cool enough, my car's air conditioning will work in the morning, because it's bringing in that cooler air from outside. So that's how I know it's coming, my friends. It is on the way. It will be here soon. And then once it is here, we can enjoy pumpkins and everything that comes along with that if they're growing
I was going
in
to
this
say,
weather.
Don't listen to us, listen to Ainsley's car.
Right. What else? We've got the FSU football game coming up on Saturday. Are you going to be watching that, 10:30?
Ooh, I don't know. That might be a little bit past my bedtime, but maybe I'll turn it on for the first.
I mean, I'm a little thankful for it. I think I've got a 12 to 9 shift, so it'll be perfect, but I don't know if I'm going to be up for that. It'll be a good 3 hours, but I don't think I have much going on Sunday to live for anyway, except for studying for thermo, so
right.
I'll probably, path of least resistance, watch the football game. Anyway, follow us on X at FSU Weather. Thank you for watching our show tonight.
Like us on Facebook at FSU Weather.
And also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather.
Subscribe to us on YouTube at FSU Weather.
And last but not least, follow us on TikTok at FSU Weather. And here is one last look at the 7 days ahead.